Welcome to the Save Par Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
I'm your host, Stuffy.
Stuffy Dom. We are currently on episode 114, and we're happy to have Golf Roots on the podcast. They are a mission-driven company making the game more affordable and sustainable. Make sure to give them a follow on the Instagram channel. Their handle is @golf, GOLF .roots, ROOTS. Guys, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast and joining us.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yep, excited to be here.
Yeah,
so before we get too in depth, what do you mean by mission driven? Because I'm just curious what your guys' definition of that is.
Yeah, so that what that really means for us is that everything we do fits in with our mission of just making golf more accessible. So, really it's all around not just, affordable equipment, but what other ways can we make equipment more accessible, which is in large part, relies on the demystification of golf equipment. So golf equipment is so complex, from hybrids to irons, like all these things don't make sense intuitively. And so part of accessibility is making those things make sense. And so that's why our social media is designed as such. That's why we put out a lot of content talking about great options at affordable prices. Everything we do fits in with that mission ultimately.
And I would say the other piece is, we really embrace the concept of doing well by doing good, right? We can run a profitable, good business while also really making a difference and an impact on people's lives. And so that's the only thing I would add to what Ben said.
Well said. Yeah, like both of those definitions in terms of the mission. That's awesome. I think every good company or business should have a good mission, and that's as well said. Obviously, we're excited about having you guys on this podcast. I think we've messaged back and forth a few times, and I love what you guys are doing. Like you said, you guys built like a really good Instagram channel. The content you put out is high quality, but you're at the end of the day, you're also a business. So can you tell us a little bit about Golf Roots, where the name came from, and how long ago you started the company?
Yeah, so the name itself comes from the phrase grassroots, or the word grassroots, I should say. The idea of that is that the company that we've been building is really growing from the roots up, right? It's growing the game from the roots, which as we see it, if you look at our logo, there are three roots. The first one is the cost of equipment is too high and it's just too hard for people to start playing. Then golf is too confusing from a rules perspective, from an etiquette perspective, and ultimately from your swing even. And then finally, it's not easy to find places to play where you're comfortable playing with people that you're comfortable playing with. And so those roots, if we can fix all those things, we can really, I don't want to overuse the term grow the game, but it fits with this analogy. We're growing golf if we can work towards that. And that's where that idea came from.
I guess to finish that, yeah, we've been around for just about 3 years now. To address the second part of your question, started it both at the end of college when Ben and I were finishing up over that winter break. So happy to go deeper there if we want to, but yeah, just about 3 years now.
That's awesome. So that's fairly young.
That's a lot of growth within 3 years. Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we started it in my parents' garage during our senior year of college. Then we went off to school and ran the business from school, and then came back. Jake moved to Washington, D.C., and then we finally got him back here last year. So, yeah, awesome. It's been a fun journey.
And are you guys originally? So you're located in Texas. Are you guys originally from Texas?
We are. We grew up like 5 minutes apart, and we played on the same soccer team together from when we were 5 until we graduated in high school.
Awesome. Did you guys have like a background in like business, or when you went to college, you're like, hey, I want to start a company, or was this like, where did the idea come from?
So I'd started a few smaller little businesses here and there. And I know Jake had done a couple. I really, what it started as was I just started selling golf clubs during the pandemic. I'd worked at a golf course and they'd given me some of their old demo clubs and I was bored. And so I started selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. From there, I started trying to get more clubs. And so I'd consign them from neighbors. I'd go on Nextdoor and Facebook and try to get people to let me sell their clubs for them. And eventually I asked one of my economics professors in college, and he actually gave me a bunch of his clubs to sell. And when I say a bunch, it was about 15 bags full of clubs with like 10 Scotty Camerons, including the one I have in my bag today.
That's so cool.
And so that's really what kickstarted that. I really wanted to make it so that more people could play the game. And part of that was that people didn't know what to buy when they wanted to buy used clubs. And so I started to put together full sets for friends. And that's where Jake comes into the picture. Jake was a friend who I knew was going into business. And so I reached out to him trying to sell him a full set of clubs, and I'll let Jake take it from there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I guess a little background is I would say I was definitely similar to Ben in that entrepreneurial, a few small businesses, things like that. But I studied computer science and economics and went into consulting, thought I might pursue something in like the kind of AI world. Definitely did not expect to do a golf startup. But yeah, so, our senior year, Ben reached out asking if I wanted a full set. I basically said no, but I love entrepreneurship. And so kind of came back, helped him build a website to display the clubs. And then very soon after that, we incorporated, or not incorporated, but became an LLC and, did all the paperwork and fun stuff. So, Ben really told most of the story, and then he reached out to me and I saw it as a business opportunity as a non-golfer at the time.
I like going full circle now, like start from, like hanging out with each other back in the day. And then all of a sudden now you're in business,
Exactly.
together. It's very cool.
Yeah.
So you started the company 3 years ago. We were just kind of browsing your website. You have quite the team. Like how like, I mean, I'd imagine like having your own company is very difficult, but being able to build a team, like, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'll speak a bit on that. That's been one of the biggest challenges we've faced over 3 years, has been finding really great people who buy into what we're doing. We're so mission driven. It's vital that we find people who see that mission and want to be a part of that too. And so we are so lucky that we have such an amazing team who comes to work every day, driven by what we're trying to achieve. And it's a great place to work. And I know every person who owns a business is going to say that about their business, but I think that we've developed a culture where people are empowered to make decisions that drive their part of the business forward. And that's what we constantly look for as we build our team is, can we find people who see problems and identify those problems and then find solutions without waiting for the rest of the crowd to follow? And that's really what we've been able to achieve. And so that's probably one of the things, and I think I can speak for Jake with this. That's one of the things that we are most proud of, is the team that we've compiled and are continuing to build. These guys are absolutely amazing, and we're really lucky to have all of them. And yeah, it just gets me excited every day getting to work with a team of people who care so much about what we're building together.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't have said it better. I think we have, I hope, a pretty easy mission to buy into, right? That we're trying to make the game more accessible and affordable. And, like Ben said, we're really fortunate that, people have come to work with us to spread that mission and grow the game. So, nothing really to add though.
I'm sorry, Jake. I'm just stealing all your answers right now.
Well, you guys, I mean, everything you guys are saying, I mean, it's Sal. He said,
I'm in.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
The culture, right? And that's the thing. It's almost probably one of the most important parts about building a team and a business is you got to find the right people that really, fit that culture. And I think that's,
it's weird how much I relate to this. So God, back in May, I got promoted and they're like, hey, you're going to be the guy. I'm just like, oh my God, I am the guy. And then I left on 2 vacations. So I don't know how much of the guy I was for the first little bit. I've had to like rebuild teams and stores. And I was talking to Derek about this. Mm-hmm. Everybody I've hired is like a mini me, and it is creepy and weird. But so there's like 5 doms running around.
But it's good. So you kind of, like I said, it goes back to like,
it goes into, the team building, the culture aspect of things. At the end of the day, going to work should be fun, right? And what is more fun than getting to work and play with golf clubs? Yeah. And make your guys' videos are so fun and entertaining. I wholeheartedly love them. And I find myself just like watching them. And to me, you guys have a great blend of everything. And I'm super excited to have you guys on and for more people to kind of learn about you guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because there's I feel like there's a lot of companies that do what you guys do, right? Use clubs, stuff like that. But I've never seen anybody market them the way you guys do and make it look like it's genuinely fun. Like I saw the video today where it was shipping the order 1 minute after the purchase.
Yeah.
I was like, man, if I'm a customer, I am jacked up that I ordered it at 6:30 and 6:31 I got the shipping.
Dude, everyone when they order something, like that's their first thing. Like now they're just constantly checking their phone.
I sit by the window.
Yeah, where's
I
the tracking?
sit by that window. Yeah.
Yeah. Like where's it coming?
Now that I have it, I'm staring out the window waiting for it.
And I'll give Ben credit here too. He sent that and I manage most of our content, and I was like, I don't think this is gonna do very well. It didn't seem like the quality was that high. It was very chaotic, as you may have noticed, but
that's just our world.
Yeah, you're right. And it's really cool to be able to do stuff like that and to have people that are interested in it. We're very fortunate.
Yeah. Jake's
always
done
always the videos you don't think are going to do well that like pop off. Like,
right.
The one with John with Buenagente, he comes up every fucking episode. Derek's like, dude, you got to make a reel about the Stanley stuff because Stanley's right now are popping. That reel,
just like a random question about Stanleys. We caught him off guard about Stanleys.
That reel,
rapid fire questions
did not perform well. The one that performed really well was him talking about just golf. And I'm like, it's funny how the one we really wanted people to go, wow, like, that's so weird, didn't do it. Where, to your credit, it's chaotic, but like, our podcast is kind of chaotic when Derek's not here. So like, it's like the yin and the yang effect.
I think people can sense, when it's genuine or organic and when it's not, right? I think, you're totally right on that. And when we've tried to do some of the more manicured stuff, it doesn't do as well. And I think back to one of our early videos that didn't go viral, but it, got 75,000 views or whatever, which was crazy for us at the time. And it was Ben putting on tape onto a baking rack. So the clubs wouldn't scratch. And it was just like, small business, like tell me your small business without telling me your small business. And we were like, why would anybody watch this? And
I think just to go back to kind of what we were talking about earlier about kind of the, unpolished, videos we put out where it seems like a really fun place to be. That's really a big part of what we're trying to do. And this is kind of a long-winded explanation, but when I started playing golf when I was about 3 or 4 years old through my grandpa. He was huge into golf at the time and wanted me to play. And so he taught me how to swing the clubs, and we played a bunch. And then when I was about 6, I stopped cold turkey, and I didn't really play golf again until I was 18. And so at that time, I got hand-me-down clubs from my grandpa, and my dad really helped me with the etiquette and the swing and all those things. And come 2020 in the pandemic, I realized that there were so many people who don't have that person in their lives to help them through their golf journey or really taking those first steps even.
Yep.
And so a fundamental part of what we're trying to put out there of our marketing is we want to be that resource. We want to be that friend, that boyfriend, that girlfriend, the granddad, the dad, the mom, whoever it is. We want to be that for people who don't have that in their lives. And so for us, creating social media around really genuine, organic content that makes people feel comfortable with us really helps people in our eyes feel comfortable with the game, and a game that historically has done its best to keep a lot of people out. And so that's one of our fundamental values is making it so that people feel comfortable, and that's what we try to achieve on social. And Jake does a fantastic job of that as well.
Do you guys have you have like a facility? Can anyone just show up there? Is it like appointments, or how does that work if someone wants to buy clubs?
Oh, yeah, can Derek and I just run around and go nuts?
Yes. Yeah, we get like 3 to 5 people who come in daily, probably. Okay. We've got a tiny sign up above it. And people just come in, and it's a lot of people local too, and they'll just Google like place to buy golf clubs, and they'll show up and be like, whoa, I've never heard of this before. This is a hidden gem. And we're like, yeah, we're all online,
but to Ben's point, it's like 95+% online, but we love it when people come in. It's fun to meet customers and interact in person. So
yeah.
How many clubs do you think you have right now in your shop?
God. If we're counting like clubs and sets and stuff too, like not an iron set's not one, it's all the irons.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like 12,000, Jake. What do you think? Is that
Probably more than that. I mean, we have
15?
like 6,000 items on the website right now.
A lot of those are iron
Probably
sets.
double that, waiting to be processed, maybe a little less, but yeah, all the iron sets, full sets. I mean,
We've got a lot of golf clubs.
I'd say
That's-
15,000 at least.
If pretty much if you're looking for something, we either have it or we'll get it in the next like week or two.
My next question, like, do you get a lot of, well, one, like repeat customers, or like do you get a lot of people like that'll shoot you guys just like a DM or message like, hey, I'm looking for this, can you help me find it? Like, maybe I don't want to pay $500 for a brand new one, but I'm
Yeah.
looking for a used one for maybe 300 or 350.
Absolutely. And we're also working on a system to make it easier for people to find like very specific things that they're waiting on to come in too. But yeah, we get people asking for those requests a lot, and we get a ton of repeat customers too. Especially people like to, they're piecing together their bag. They want their ideal clubs, and maybe they're not ready to spend all the money either on new or to just get everything at once. And so they'll piece it together over time. And so that's really cool to see, because you can tell, based on their orders, like who's building their set, or if someone gets all those things at once, it's like, that's really exciting. Or they just get a full set from us, which is also really neat.
I'm really mad you said that because I really want a Bettinardi putter, but I don't want to spend the Bettinardi prices.
There you go.
I think they have the nicest looking putter out there,
They're pretty
They are pretty sweet.
other than the Mizuno I just bought. That Mizuno I bought is sexy.
Did you know that Bettinardi made putters for Mizuno for years? Those
I'm fully used to it. So I work with Mizuno,
Oh,
I
sick.
didn't know that.
which is
Bettinardi, are they out of Chicago? Like Illinois?
Yes, because
Sounds
I
right.
think Bob lives in Illinois. We one of our
Okay.
guys met him, I think, at one of our trade-in events.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Chicago. Yeah.
Very good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Keep going.
yeah,
Yeah,
you dick.
so he had Mizuno. He works with.
Yeah, I work. I have a Mizuno rep.
Yeah.
Love him. I see him on Thursday. I see him way too often, to be totally honest. He doesn't listen, but hi, Brian. Yeah, there's a Bettinardi putter that has like the honeycomb on it, and I saw that.
Oh.
I was like, "Yep,
Game over.
I need it."
They're nice.
And I know a guy who has one. The issue is, he's like way bigger than me, so the putter's
Put
too
it-
long.
Cut it down.
But like, I'm just like,
Down,
oh
cut it
my
down.
god! And he's like, it's so great. And then I bought my Mizuno. And I was like, dude, it's better than a Scotty. I'm like, cool. I don't like Scotties. They're dumb. I'll get the Mizuno.
What do you not like about Scotties?
Just like the pretentiousness around them.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
You know what I mean? Because
Oh
You
yeah.
either love him or hate him, I think.
I
Right,
feel like
right.
it's one of those things where, don't get me wrong. I have a sneaker collection. I have a camera collection. The difference with that stuff is I wear all the shoes. I use all the cameras. People collect Scotties. They're like, I'll never hit this thing. I'm like,
Right.
I don't get it. You hit it once, nobody's gonna know.
I was guilty with that with Jordan shoes for a long time, but Dom's been really, really pushing me. So now I try to wear most of all my shoes too. I'm also a collector, not nearly to Dom's level, but
I don't have.
trying to like
I don't have
actually
big
use
boys,
what I have versus
Yeah.
like just putting it in the closet
Yeah.
and just like, oh, look how nice
I have
that
a
is.
buddy
So
with
many
a
people do
Scotty,
that.
right? And he got this. I know every time he misses a putt, it's never him. It's always the club. And then every time he makes a big putt,
It's any club though.
well, but then whenever he makes a big putt, it's never his skill set or him growing as a golfer. It's always, I bought this club and now it works. I'm just like,
That's our favorite type of person.
Yeah,
like,
he needs to come see us, I think.
I'll send him the link.
Exactly. See, we're just trying
But
to get some new business for you guys. That's
There
what
you
we're
go.
here.
gonna say-
That's more so my big issue is just like the pretentiousness around it.
Oh,
I
sure.
think they are beautiful works of art, especially people who redo them and customize them. I appreciate it. But just the people that are like, it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm like, that is wrong.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
mean,
taco.
yeah,
Then it's like there's all these great putters, and you want to focus on one guy who does not care about you.
right. I think that like, for putters, it's great to get fitted for putters, but ultimately a big part of it's confidence. And so if
Mhm.
you feel good looking over that putter, it could be I don't know, it could be something you bought at Goodwill, or it could be something you bought for $2,000 as a Scotty Cameron Circle T or something. Really the confidence piece is so vital. If you look down at your putter and you're like, oh boy, I hate this thing.
That's a really good point. I agree.
Like,
Well,
These things with my
So
driver too.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
go ahead.
sure. I mean, I'll tell you something. I whenever I play the rental sets at clubs, like if is about to sound so stupid, but I actually often will just putt with like the 60-degree wedge in the bag over putting with a different putter, just because the look, just like, I feel like when I set up I'm so used to my putter. When I set up over the ball, it's like there's zero chance I make this putt.
You
Like,
just lost all your confidence. You're just like, I'm not even.
Yeah, I don't feel, and I'm actually pretty good at putting with a wedge. It's kind of ridiculous skill to have and totally useless. But
What's your favorite putter? It's a 60-degree Cleveland.
Right, exactly. But like, yeah. So like, I just don't feel confident. I won't even use it.
For me, it's a shape, and you can attest to this. I'm not bad at putting.
No, not at all.
But if it's like the spiders, garbage. Can't do it. They're too big.
I feel like a lot of people love the spider nowadays.
They are dumb. People like them because they're tailor-made, and people like to hop on tailor-made. It's stupid. That's how I feel about like the stelts and everything. Anyways, as long as it's like a blade or like something like a blade-ish, it doesn't matter where the shaft is, if it's bent, if it's in the middle, if it's up, it doesn't matter. If it's a blade, I can normally do pretty well with it. And for reference, if you guys are wondering what the hell Mizuno I bought, it is the MOI02. So it's the new, but I got it in that really cool blue.
Yeah, I love the blue
putters.
We were just at the PGA show, and the Mizuno, we spent probably literally an hour in the Mizuno section.
I think Mizuno converted one of our guys who's a Titleist guy over to the Mizuno.
Let me think. Awesome. I don't think I'm allowed to like say what I paid, but I got a deal, like a deal and a half.
Mizuno is so underrated. It's shocking. Like, I feel like they're only underrated because they don't pump a ton of money like TaylorMade or Callaway or Ping, Titleist.
Marketing.
Like, if you're a newer golfer, I mean, I can't think of a better club than like one of Mizuno's Hot Metal Iron series.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. It feels great and it performs really great, but they don't have as much of a hold on that marketing as these other big dogs do. And so a lot of people miss out on clubs that could be perfect for them, which is
a friend of ours, friend of the pod. His name is Wheels. He's with Sucker Pin. All Wheels uses is Mizuno.
Yeah.
His entire bag, straight down to the bag, Mizuno.
He's a loyal Mizuno guy.
Like his hat, Mizuno. His glove, Mizuno. Everything. I don't know if he uses Mizuno balls.
I don't think they make Mizuno.
They do make balls.
Oh,
yeah.
I almost bought a set, but I'm like,
okay, I didn't even know that.
I was gonna buy a dozen, but I'm like, I'm cheating on Jordan. So I couldn't. But everything in his bag is Mizuno, and he says
cell phone Mizuno, his car Mizuno.
Well,
his wife Mizuno,
but it's Mizuno blue.
Yeah.
I sent it, and he goes, "Holy shit, that's sexy." And I was like, "I know,
it is nice.
I know."
That's awesome.
What's the most common club that you guys sell? Or actually, let me rephrase it. Do you sell sets? Are those more common selling sets, or do you sell individual clubs more?
So the full sets are like I think the coolest thing one of the coolest things that we do. Top two coolest things we do. The full sets, we're really like the only company in this space that does high quality, used, affordable full sets of clubs. So that's anywhere from like $100, usually around like $200 to $2,000 and everywhere in between. So these full sets we build ourselves. We find sets that have the right shafts, the right style. So we're not going to put game improvement irons with, more of a player style driver head, wood head, all that stuff. We build these sets. We try to match them up years. We match them up with the brands, all these things. And these fly off the shelves because think about it. First of all, that was one of the things we wanted to do from the start were full sets. That's why I tried to sell Jake the first time. We were making these full sets as a part of our mission. And the reason why it is because if you don't know golf, it's really hard to buy used clubs. And if you are new to golf, the best way to go is used clubs. There's a cognitive dissonance there, right? Why are we not making it easier for people who want to buy used clubs to buy used clubs? If you are a brand new golfer and you walk into one of these used golf club stores, you are so screwed, right?
They're going to upgrade you over to it.
Yeah. You have no idea. You either are going to get screwed by the salesperson or you're just going to buy random stuff. Like someone who's brand new bought like all these random club strums, like all extra stiff, so we called them. We're like, hey, are you sure this is what you're trying to order? And they're like, can you help me? Yes, of course. That's why we do the full sets. Because if people don't feel comfortable with the knowledge they possess to buy used clubs, what are they going to do? They're either not going to play golf or they're going to go buy a crap box set from unnamed box set companies. I think you know what I'm talking about, though. And these clubs seem like a tremendous deal, $300, $500, $600. Oh, and it comes with the bag. They're terrible clubs, and they retain zero value once you take them out of the box. I mean, that's a huge problem for people who are budget conscious. These clubs don't perform well, they break, and they have no value. And so that's where the full sets come in. We sell a ton of these because it makes it easy and the prices are good. And so those are, we sell a ton of individual clubs, and we sell way more individual clubs than we do full sets. But I mean, we sold, I think, right around 1,000 full sets of clubs for newer golfers last year alone. I mean, that and that was with starting the full sets later in the year. And those are really great ways to get started in the game or make your first upgrade into the game too. Sure. So you've got Grandpa's Ping I2s, and you've got the G2 driver, which was my situation. Now you're going to switch up to Ping G425 full set, ready to go, right?
Exactly.
So I have a dumb question because I know we just kind of talked about everything, but just to simplify everything, what sets you guys apart from I've ordered stuff from Three Balls Golf. Sure. I'm a big fan of used clubs. I think it's the best way to go, especially if you're wanting to test out kind of a club. Because we were playing and I'm like, God, I don't have a wedge for this distance. Luckily, we've had people on where I could build a club and, hook it up, but I still paid for it. I love that damn club. Anyways, I like to peruse, used clubs, maybe I can get it cheaper, whatever. What sets you guys apart? And I know we just talked about, what you guys do helping customers, but just simplify it for everybody. What sets you guys apart from a Second Swing, a Three Balls Golf, stuff like that?
Yeah. So if there are a few things that set us apart, one is going to be the full sets of clubs. No one else does that like we do. Number two is going to be, we have the least expensive starter set in the entire golf industry. It's $89.99. It's called the Just the Root set. You get a wood, an iron, a wedge, and a putter, plus 5 balls for $89.99. And when you're ready to upgrade to a real full set, you get 100% of that money back to upgrade. So all $89.99, you get that back.
Those are get 5 balls for $89.99.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's two of the ways to set us apart. Another way is on the social media side. We don't just say we're trying to grow the game and blah, 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 blah. There are so many companies that just spew bullshit about how they're trying to help golfers, and they don't actually give a crap.
They're really just in for the money, essentially.
Right. So, I don't want to just say our prices are better. They are, but it's also that we produce content to help people find the right clubs for their budget, not just the right clubs to make us the most amount of money. Ultimately, we know that every club that we have is going to sell, and every club we have had has always sold historically. And so it matters more to us to create a better experience and help golfers get into the game, knowing that they're going to come back to us, than it does to make an extra $10 price gouging someone on a club that came out 10 years ago. And I can't really say the same for our competitors. It seems rather short-sighted, to really take the most from the customers possible. That's really not what we're about. And then I'd say one other thing is that we're making serious efforts to extend beyond just being, a used club peddler into helping golfers find instructors and instruction, and also connecting them with golf courses and providing value to that side of the industry from a club perspective. We want to help the whole industry. We don't want to, we don't be a detriment to pro shops and clubhouses that are trying to make money themselves. We want to help get more people into the system, play more golf. That's better for everyone, including the consumer, which is ultimately our main focus.
I would want to add to that, but you kind of nailed the right on the head there. But
I'll let Jake take over in 1 second here. But the one thing I'll say is that we're taking a more modern approach to a historically antiquated industry. And I mean, the fact that we've come in and we've been around for 3 years and we already have more followers on social media than every single one of these US based companies that's been around for on average 15 years. I mean, that,
Yeah, that
I
speaks for
feel like that
itself.
tells you something.
You got to meet people where they are, right? Especially if they're the ones that, are trying to get into the game. People who are young, who might not have grown up on the course, who are entering the professional world, etc. And I think Ben explains it really well. I think he's got it down to a science at this point. But the other piece I would emphasize is that customer experience, which is something that we really focus on. So beyond the prices, beyond the sharing of knowledge, things like the video you saw today where, we turn around and ship something a minute after it's ordered, but that also extends to, hey, is this going to get to me by Friday for my, weekend golf trip? And it's not, we'll upgrade their shipping and say, here, yeah, now it will. And, we'll send head covers, we'll send towels. We really want to be that customer service based brand where, you're getting the best experience. And that's why we see so many returning customers.
Yeah.
Think of a Zappos or even Amazon or some of these pet companies, right? They have such great customer service. You don't want to go anywhere else.
No brainer.
Even if it wasn't just that the price is better, right? That's how we really retain, a loyal following and community.
And then one other thing that sets us apart. Sorry, I know it's a very long answer to.
No, I love it. This is all great information. I think it makes sense why you guys have such a good platform and have done such an amazing job.
Yeah, I'm shopping on your website too, so don't mind me.
Love it. I think one other thing that sets us apart is the way that we acquire the inventory. So I mentioned that we're not trying to take from these pro shops. We're trying to build them up too. What we do, the way we acquire our inventory is we run these things called trade-in days at clubs around the country where our team flies out to the club. Members bring in their old clubs they don't want anymore. They trade them in. They get pro shop credit at their pro shop. We pay those courses 100% of that credit and then ship the clubs back to our headquarters in Dallas.
That was going to be my next question, is to ask you how you actually acquire a lot of these clubs. So
yeah, so I mean that's how we do it. We work almost exclusively with private clubs. And the cool thing about that is that at a lot of these private clubs where it costs, let's face it, a lot of money to join.
Yep.
These people have done really well in their careers and they've made a lot of money and they spend a lot of it on golf. And so when we come and do these events, the way we market them is we make it so these people, not only are they getting credit, but they're also able to help someone else in their journey into golf. And so they feel like they're a part of that mission too. So we're supporting these pro shops and these courses by helping them make incremental sales. For years, they've been losing out to, Dick's Sporting Goods and PJ Superstore and all these online stores. We're helping them get those sales back. We're helping the members clear out their old clubs, make their spouses happy and clearing out the garage, right? And also getting credit to buy new ones. Right.
Not a me thing. I can't relate.
But
I'm at the spouse thing.
Well, that too, yeah.
They're able to do something good with their and get money from it to buy more clubs, and people get so excited about that. I mean, it's really cool to be able to do that and then provide that on the consumer side. We're able to say, okay, we're able to get these clubs for really fair prices, so that way we can make it so that consumers can afford these on the back end, and that way we can make golf more accessible as a whole. So the really unique thing about our business is that we are supporting all elements of the golf industry, right? We're able to create kind of a symbiotic system where we're all able to feed off of each other and work together in an industry that seems like, we've been pushing other people down. It's been, how can we make the courses more money at the expense of consumers? Or how can we make it easier for consumers at the expense of courses and pros? What we're trying to do is lift them both up together. And that's really, I think, what ultimately sets us apart is that everyone has some role in that mission.
It's a great idea. Like, where did that come from though? Like, I mean, you said you first started it doing the Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and all that stuff. And like, to even think of that, I mean, it's very well thought out. I mean, it's a great idea. And again, it's like everyone wins, right? The person that's getting rid of the clubs is selling them back. Now they're actually being part of another story for someone else that's going to put them in their hands. So you're almost like recycling almost in a way, but at an affordable rate. Like, where did that idea come from?
So early on when I was getting into golf, I had my grandpa's clubs and they were Senior Flex Ping G5 irons. And I was like, I need something better. And so I did not have a lot of money. and I was very frugal, and I was trying to figure out how to get clubs. And so I started reaching out to friends. Hey, I know you play golf. I'm really getting into the game. Do you have anything in your garage you'd be interested in selling me or getting rid of? And what I realized quickly was that so many people have so many golf clubs in their garages. They collect them, they let them sit there. I've become guilty of this myself at this point, but that I realized that quickly that there are so many golf clubs that people hang on to. And so when we started this, what Jake and I did was we called like every golf course in Dallas and went around and helped them clear out their lost and founds and parts of their bag room and stuff. And what that eventually grew into was how can we provide more value to these courses beyond just taking their lost and found clubs?
Well, candidly, I mean, we also, ran out of lost. Not to make us sound like genius. Like there was a point where it was like, we started buying off of eBay and off of Facebook. And
right.
Like that's not scalable or sustainable.
I'd spend 5 hours a day on eBay doing sending offers for clubs, trying to get deals because we couldn't find any other way to get clubs. Yeah. And then finally, Shining Rock in Northbridge, Massachusetts, there's a pro there who I used to work with out in New Mexico. It's like, hey, we got some old clubs. And I convinced him to let us buy them. And so that's where the idea started to form, and that where we would just buy, clubs old stock. And eventually we were like, okay, we can also have your members trade in clubs. And I was at one course pitching, and the pro said, hey, do you guys also do this? Like if we did a demo day, could you come out like day of with a table and do it? And I'm like, yeah, of course we do that all the time. We had never done this before. And so we had to figure out what that would look like, what a trade and do. It's total. I was totally bullshitting, but like,
that's how that always goes along with a lot of stories though. They just say it. Yeah, we've done that. And they've never
figured it out.
Yes. Now we got to.
Right. And so Jake and I were both working full-time jobs at this point. And so we started to flesh out this trade-in day idea. And at that point I was like, okay, this is it. This idea is going to work. Like, screw it. Let's just do it. And so the day before my 23rd birthday, I put in my 2 weeks notice. We hadn't done a single trade-in day yet. 2 days later, we ran our first trade-in day. So I'd already quit my job. And at this point, we work with some of the best courses in the world. Running these events, and we did like, I don't know, I think we purchased like over $800,000 of clubs last year from these trade-in days.
Should I quit my job?
I'm gonna join golf. Yeah. So that's very impressive. That's such a cool story.
But that's kind of where we got to where we were with the trade-in days. It's like that's a lot of entrepreneurial stories, like fake it till you make it to some degree.
Exactly. That's kind of what I was going back to. It's like, there's been a lot of, I love the entrepreneur side of things. And you hear a lot of stories, like a lot of startups, like that's what it is, like kind of the same thing. Fake it till you make it. And then you figure it out and you do it, Exactly. Normally you're dedicated and you already know, like you have a vision of what you want to do. So you're going to get there regardless. But sometimes, like you said, you just got to kind of fake it. But so when you, this has been an awesome episode, by the way. Very informational. We really appreciate your time. So we'll probably spend like another 10 minutes, 15 minutes, if that's okay with you guys. Got a couple more questions.
And also, if we've got some takes on the golf industry as a whole, that if you want us to hop on another podcast at some point in time, we'd be more than happy to.
Love to do a part 2 episode, 100%. Absolutely. Yeah, we can do a little bit more business related questions, but we can get the other side of the golf industry. I think that would be very cool.
We should have an episode where we just shit on brands.
I love that.
We don't do that.
I mean, I already feel like I do.
Just follow our Instagram page. It's so funny if you follow our Instagram or TikTok. Like when we say anything bad about a brand, it's like there's some hardos in the comments, just pissed,
just waiting for it. Just the keyboard warriors.
It's funny because like all my friends have TaylorMade, other than you, and it's all the same bag. And I'm like, you guys are so boring.
Yeah.
Like they can't survive if they don't have a TaylorMade driver with their TaylorMade irons. I'm like, shut up, be yourself. That's the beauty of golf right now. Is there's really so many personalities in it.
That's what we say.
Great at marketing. It's pretty impressive, really.
My bag doesn't make sense. Like not at all. I have 3 wedges and 2 of them are different brands.
It's kind of cool though, being able to it's cool to have like a full set of the same brand, but it's also kind of nice to have like a set where you can just throwing wherever you want, mix and match. I mean, like I said, there's really no right or wrong way to do it as long as you feel comfortable hitting the club.
Well, and I feel like every brand does something better, right? Like I love my driver. I don't remember what it is, but it's Callaway.
Callaway, yeah, it's the Callaway.
Me too.
Rogue ST.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's what it is. Love it. Spent way too much money. Love it. Everything else in my bag, Cobra. Funny enough.
There you go.
Edges, I have 2 SM9 Vokies, and then I built a 52 with our guy in Canada.
Oh yeah, Haywood.
Love
nice.
that.
Yeah, Haywood's sick.
That's it's a sick 50. That thing spins like a motherfucker.
Yeah,
It's crazy. And then my putter is Mizuno, and then I only use Odin balls because like Jordan's got a chokehold on me and my wallet.
They're very affordable golf balls. Yeah, again, if you're not a pro, it really does.
But like none of the bag matches, and I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, diversity in your bag. It's cool.
Exactly.
Whatever works.
And that's what it comes down to, at the end of the day, like if you feel comfortable with playing, like if you stink and you're like, dude, I'm just not performing properly, then it's like, okay, well, it could be you, but it could be the clubs. And that's where you try to find somebody that can
I am missing a 7 iron though.
Yeah, I broke a 7 iron. Still gotta be. But I actually gotta get it. I snapped it at a golf outing. And so I still have the club with the broken shaft. So I need to get the shaft replaced.
It's been 2 years.
Yeah,
let us know if you need help with that.
Yeah, I might just actually hit you guys up and
give me a new
I told him I'm gonna take care of it before the beginning of this year, which was the season, I should say.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
granted, I've already started.
Yeah, you've already played.
Yeah, but I was gonna ask when you did all this purchasing all these clubs, did you guys sell like a little bit on eBay or like Craigslist before you like launched your website, or was everything right out of your website, right off of your website?
No, so we sold on Facebook Marketplace, and then what Jake did was Jake was like, okay, you need a website so you don't have to just go out in the garage and take photos of what you want to sell people and then make up prices, which was smart. So what we did is we used Facebook Marketplace as a lead generation tool to get people onto the website. And so we really only used those two methods. And we mainly just sold through the website the whole time. People are like, you should get on eBay. But our thinking was throughout the process, we want to control the customer experience. And so part of that is we don't want to sell on eBay because although I'm sure we can sell a lot of golf clubs, we don't get to control that experience nearly as much as we do through our website. Do you agree with that, Jake?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so much of this is about building, a community and a following, right? I mean, we're selling used golf clubs. A Second Swing could sell the exact same club. Now, maybe it's more expensive, maybe it's not. But probably at the end of the day, right, we really want to differentiate ourselves. And the way we can do that is through that customer experience and through that education that we talked about. And so, like Ben said, that's how we can control it. And if we were on Amazon, if we were on eBay, it's a lot harder to do that.
Right. That makes sense. Do you guys have like when did you start kind of bringing everyone on the team? Like you have you two that you guys started it. Did you guys do a lot of the photos, doing all that? And then you're like, hey, we're really growing really rapidly. Like we need to get a warehouse and build a team. Like what was the steps on that?
Yeah. So our first hire was a local high schooler named Ike. Cause we were in college, so we couldn't do any like the shipments or anything. So he would fulfill all the orders or meet people on a street corner to sell the clubs while we.
The club dealer, huh?
It was like super sketch. The whole. I feel Ike was a trooper for it though. But we started building our team fairly early, and I mean we have people that do photography, inventorying, shipping, managing the warehouse, running trade-in events, running online trade-ins, finance stuff, a little bit of everything really. So
everybody helps out with other roles as well.
Yeah.
I would say we started early, but at this time last year, we probably had 4 employees?
Yeah. We had like, us? We had like 4 employees.
And now we have like 10. So, I think we've definitely been growing a lot, and it's largely out of necessity, right? If we're running 200 trade-in days, that's too much for one person to manage. If we're getting all those clubs in, then we have to hire more people in our warehouse to help process them, and we have to hire a full-time photographer. So
Yep.
I think it really came out of necessity and has scaled quite nicely. You know, I think we're at the point where we have a team that we love, and we're still trying to grow it, but you know, we feel really confident in the group we have.
I love hiring high school kids because like there's not a thought in their brain other than work. Like I was explaining something to I just hired a high schooler. He loves cars. Seriously, he followed me on Instagram and all he does is send me reels of cars. It's like 2 a.m. and I'm getting real. I'm like, dude, go to bed.
That's
And
hilarious.
it's weird because he's like 18, so like I feel kind of weird. Anyways, I'm explaining something to him, and he's just like, "That's kind of sketchy." I was like, "Yeah, when you word it like that, yeah." He goes, "Sick, I'll do it." I'm like, "Hell yeah, yes."
That's
So,
hilarious.
so you seem you guys are obviously pretty well prepared. You guys come up with a really cool plan. This whole business model is very, very well thought
Don't let it fool you. Don't let it fool
Glad it
you.
seems that way.
Well, I'm sure like every business, there's always flaws. There's always you're learning something new every day, right? Or you're jumping through some
Absolutely.
sort of obstacle. That's kind of part of
Right.
the process. But like, what do you guys see yourself maybe opening up a warehouse somewhere else in a different area? I mean, is that something like maybe like a 5-year plan? Or like what's like some of your goals?
Could do it in Minneapolis and have us run around.
I think that it's possible. I think that online retail is the future of the retail business as a whole, especially in golf, and finding new ways to, make it easier for more people around the country to be able to take advantage of the great deals and the great experience we have is that's really what we're trying to do. I mean, I could see us having some sort of like experiential type place or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say possible, but probably unlikely. I think,
Yeah.
Like Ben said, we're mostly online. Not that we don't love Minneapolis or all the, we get a lot of messages from Australia, and they're like, when?
Yeah. Australia's that's
But
Golf
that could
Roots
be
Europe, Golf Roots Australia is not out of the question.
But,
Yeah, I think that we're pretty regionally, we're pretty focused on building e-commerce and really selling at that. That's our main focus right now.
We know a guy in Australia, so if you want to start it, we get Tim involved. Tim nukes that damn golf ball.
Well, I was just gonna say like the brick and mortar kind of. I mean, it's obviously been kind of going away for quite some time.
Right.
The online e-commerce, all that stuff is really kind of what's going to be the future. But I know, like, so with like, you obviously have to store the club, so it's more or less like more of like a distribution or like a place like Cold. So I mean, you could probably put it in a big warehouse in Texas. So it was more like that, like, well, California, Arizona, they're big golf. The cool expensive thing, taxes for California, but Arizona's the golf mecca in the West over there. So that was more or less like maybe it's like another facility to like store clubs.
I think that would be potentially more likely. I would say, fortunately, Dallas is great for space and relatively affordable.
And shipping. And shipping. That's
right?
We're
similar to Minneapolis. We're so central. That's been helpful. So is that part possible? I'd say, the distribution center more likely, but, like to your point, probably not a brick and mortar store.
Yeah, makes sense. Expensive, a lot of overhead, a lot of just
and people and I'm not going to name any names, but there are certain competitors out there who have, stores and stuff. I mean, I've been to these stores and my God, they look expensive. You wonder why their prices are so shitty.
They have to keep the lights on somehow, right?
Yeah, it's because they have 30 TrackMan simulators and 30 people on the floor at any given time. Yep. They have to boost their margin somehow.
Sure.
Right. And so that our goal, if our goal is accessibility, kind of staying, fairly lean, fits in with that goal pretty well. And also the warehouse vibe, people love visiting our warehouse. It feels like it's a hidden secret at all times. And so,
it's not cool show. It used to be just baking racks. Now we've upgraded to like
it used to be
wooden racks. I mean,
well, for a year and a half, it was my parents' garage. So no one was allowed to come in there. I had to go drive the clubs for local pickups to a elementary school parking lot so that people wouldn't know where my parents lived. And then
that makes sense.
It was a chiropractor's office for less than a year. And then, a little over a year. And then in June, we moved into our current space, and it's freaking amazing. So
It looks nice. Yeah, it looks huge too.
It's pretty great. We love it.
Well, if we're in Dallas, we're definitely gotta. We'll
Better
at
come
least
up and
stop
see
by.
it.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that you guys might want to mention? We're just gonna do a quick couple of rapid fire questions, and then we can wrap it up. And we'll love to have you on again. Though I said this has been awesome. Appreciate all the insight.
I'm probably not allowed in Texas.
But
I love the horns down celebration too much.
Hey, let's go. Horns down, baby. Awesome.
So I'm a West Virginia fan, so I love there's that game Will Greer throws that pass to David
I know what
Sills.
you're talking about. Yeah.
And he just goes up and just, and that's when the NCAA is like, you can't do that anymore. And David Sills is just like, fuck it, horns down, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hate the Cowboys. Fuck them.
Honestly, they make we could get into a whole nother podcast about
we could
that.
Let's do a sports podcast for sure.
Yeah,
we'll, I mean, obviously golf is sport, but I mean, maybe not. It's golf and things. That's our podcast. Golf and things.
That was a close one. Yeah.
Golf
Watch
and
it there, Sonny.
The Rangers are pretty cool though.
Speaking of football though, Super Bowl predictions. What do you guys got?
Chiefs.
Can't bet against Mahomes.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna put money on it, I mean, I'd like to see the 49ers win. I don't really care who wins, but if I'm putting money on it, I think the Chiefs are gonna win.
I'll take the Chiefs. Yeah.
I hope
I'm a Niners fan, so it's obvious.
Favorite Instagram account? It could be golf related or non-golf related.
Oh man. I'm trying to remember the name of this. Oh God, this account is hilarious. Golf Roots. I think. No, I'm kidding. It's.
I think I've heard of it.
I'm surprised nobody said us yet. Yeah, I mean they don't even follow us.
That's
shots.
Hey, Mood Swings Golf. I love those.
Oh
yeah.
They are hilarious.
They are. Yeah. That's the one with Trey Kennedy, I think. Right?
Yes, Trey Kennedy is so funny.
One of my favorites is I mentioned it a couple episodes ago. I love kids getting hurt. Oh my God, is it brilliant?
Actually, who we had on the podcast, who was it that it was the Four Bros Golf or whatever? He messaged me. He's like, hey, what was he sent me? He's like, what was that? Yeah, he asked me, he's like, what was that Instagram account you were liking? I'm like, dude, that wasn't me. That was
that was me.
Man, I would say my non-golf one would be like a trash can Paul. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's like super dark, or not dark, but like just really.
What is it called?
Trash can Paul. Just these like crazy
sounds like my kind of account, to be honest.
But more PC and golf memes, I'd say like rock bottom golf. I'm all about the memes.
Oh yeah, rock bottom golf.
They do, and they've good memes. I'm here.
I've got another one. There's one Spanish account that I follow called Piedras Tirar, which means like thrown rocks, and they literally it's just people submitting videos like throwing massive rocks off of things. They're the dumbest videos you've ever seen, and they have 1.1 million followers.
Isn't that crazy how like some of those just like videos like pages like that just blow up?
Do you guys remember because I think we're all
throwing rocks.
That's such a guy thing. It's such a guy thing.
Being dudes type of,
I remember when I was like, I think I was like a senior or junior in high school, and I was like, hey, let's get this potato past 1 million followers or whatever.
No, it was an egg.
Yeah, it was an egg.
It was an egg.
Yes.
And it did.
It did. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing.
It just shows you
social
how
media.
Yeah, social media. Favorite golf logo. Could be a clothing apparel or apparel company. It could be a brand, whatever you want. Anything golf related.
Oh,
I know who I have.
What's yours, Jake?
East Side Golf.
Oh yeah,
that's a
guys,
good one. Yeah.
We met them at the PGA show. I immediately thought we need to change our logo. Theirs is so cool. But love what they're about. I think they approach the game and accessibility in a really similar way value-wise, but obviously a very different, on the clothing side and merchandise. But love what they're about. Really awesome guys, and really.
I had
cool.
my hoodie on from them the other day.
Great answer. Yeah, that's a good.
I'll second that.
Second that. All right, perfect. Now I'll let you ask this one. It's kind of your famous question here to wrap.
Ooh, what's your guys' walk-up song? Like first tee, you got to make like a good impression.
You got like a group of like 8 behind you, so now you have pressure on the tee.
Sosa.
Oh my god,
for sure.
What is it?
Love Sosa by Chief Keef.
There we go.
Okay.
Gets the people going. I don't know what to say.
I'll just go with like Back in Black or something.
Back in Black.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I picked the last week because I'm normally I try to I come up with a lot of the questions, but sometimes I just I more or less try to ask it for the guest, and then Dom always was like, "What's yours?" And now it catches me off guard. So last week, we asked that same one, and I went with the Van Halen, where the Michael Jordan, the Bulls theme song.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's
That's a good one.
Yeah, I was I had to come up with a good one because that was always pretty lame.
Yeah.
But that one was pretty. That was good for 2 episodes.
Did we do it for 2 episodes?
No, I'm just saying it's a good answer. Enough to cover for.
That's a great answer.
My bad.
Yeah, it's a great answer.
Yeah.
Oh, were you trying to play one?
No,
I'm scrolling.
I'm scrolling.
Okay.
Probably right now, Pakistan by D Block Europe. That one's been just stuck in my head. I think if you walk up to that thing, people are like, "What the hell?" Can you
play it for just a quick sec? Because I don't know which song that is.
Oh, my volume's not on.
See, me 6-7 years ago, I think I would like that, but now that I'm older,
See, the beauty of me 6 or 7 years ago would still love it.
Yeah.
And me currently is dude, I get to listen to this.
Yeah.
Good pick.
I love it.
I don't know. I my music taste's been all over lately. And R&B, Brent Faiyaz, or UK grime. I have no idea what's going on.
I actually have a good different set of genres of music. I listen to all sorts of different types, and
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, my girl Karol G won a Grammy.
There you go.
I'm a Becky G, but I like
Karol G's better.
Yeah.
Becky G. Yeah.
Becky G's way better.
No.
Becky G.
You've not seen Carol?
No, I've seen Carol.
Have you not seen Becky?
Becky's way better. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We'll have another debate on the next episode. Yeah. Okay, so we always
Cowboys. You got Becky G.
Yeah. We always end with a food related question. I'll let Dom ask it.
So as we discussed, I'm not allowed in Dallas, but we end up going to Dallas. Where are we going to go eat?
Oh, I mean, you gotta have barbecue. I mean, that's a no brainer. Cadillac barbecue.
Is there a restaurant specifically?
I'd go Lockhart's. Have you been there, Ben?
Yeah, I've been to Lockhart's.
I love Lockhart. Brisket.
Okay.
Cadillac barbecue. That's the
Heard
place.
of them.
Only open Thursdays and Fridays. It's from 10 a.m. until they sell out on both days.
That's
not open any other day.
I've heard of them. Yeah, dude, they're
barbecue.
They're nuts.
Thursday and Friday. That's why. Why not Friday, Saturday? What's the reason behind that?
Because I can sell it out on a Thursday.
The guy's retired. He's barbecue's so expensive. They make their money fast, and they're done.
In and out, huh?
Yeah,
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time, man. We really appreciate it, and let's connect again here down the road. Maybe the next couple months we can have another podcast episode.
This is great. Thank you, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you guys. Keep up the great work.
Yes, sir.
Likewise.
Take care.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.